It's definitely just recording locally, but
Okay,
I think
whatever.
that's better off recording to my PC than yours. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right, excellent. Well, I'm calling this meeting to order at 1:07 p.m. on December 8th. Before we get started, we're going to do a territorial land acknowledgement. We would like to respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Cadzi nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied territories. Next up is the roll call of attendance. I will start with myself. I'm the philosophy counselor, vice chair of this committee. My pronouns are they, she, they, and all my accessibility needs are met for today. Next up is the ex officio acting president.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abby, he, him pronouns, and all my access needs are met.
Next up is the acting VP finance and services. Roscoe, would you like to introduce yourself? Roscoe, can you hear us? All right, then. I will move on to our new member of the committee, the acting VP internal.
Hi, my name is Peter. He, him pronouns, and my accessibility needs are met.
Excellent. Now we have a couple staff in the room. Would you like to introduce yourself, John?
Hi all, John here. He, him, his, and all my access needs are met.
Excellent. And would you like to introduce yourself, Rianne? Rianne types in chat, hi, my name is Rianne, she, her pronouns, and all my access needs are met. Excellent, lovely. And now if Roscoe is still not responding to us, all right, I guess we'll move on. Next up is the consent agenda. The only thing in the consent agenda is the previous SPOC meeting minutes, so we're just going to file those. I'm going to seek unanimous consent on accepting the consent agenda.
Hi, I'll put in chat. Sorry, my internet is very bad.
Oh, that's totally okay, Roscoe. Would you like to introduce? Oh, you're going to say you put in chat. Okay, excellent. And seeing no dissent on the consent agenda, we have adopted the consent agenda. Next up is the adoption of the agenda. I will move it. Can I get a seconder?
President.
Thank you. Seeking any discussion or amendments to the agenda, feel free to just list in chat. Give it a second, but I don't think we were supposed to have any. So seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. Oh, you don't have the agenda?
I can put it in check. Give me 1 sec.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, so seeing no amendments, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you would like to dissent or abstain, feel free to use the raise hand feature in Zoom. Seeing none, the agenda is accepted. So next up is new business. 9.1 SPOC chair election. This was submitted by myself. The motion reads, whereas the Space Oversight Committee does not have a designated chair in policy, whereas the terms of reference states that the executive officer is meant to be, that an executive officer is meant to be chair of SPOC. Be it resolved to appoint Executive X as the chair of SPOC for the remainder of the 2022-2023 year. I will move that. Can I get a seconder?
Acting president.
Excellent. And before I ask for nominations, I did see Roscoe put in the chat his introduction. Hi, Roscoe, he, him pronouns. I have very unstable internet connection at the moment. That is totally okay. So this will be the first call for nominations. I'm going to list myself. And I would like to nominate Roscoe to be chair of SPOC. Do you accept this nomination, Roscoe? Roscoe accepts. Any other nominations? Second call for nominations. Third call for nominations. Abby, yeah, you'd like to list?
Yeah, in line with what happened at council, I'd like to nominate Timmy to be the chair of SPOC. Timmy, the mascot from the
Yes, the
SFSS
mascot.
executive office, of course.
As Timmy is not a counselor, unfortunately we cannot. He's not even a executive counselor, so he cannot accept this nomination. But thank you very much, Abby, for the nomination. Closing off the nomination list, this is an uncontested vote. But Roscoe, if you'd like to give a 30-second little speech, that's totally okay. If not, also fine. I'm going to assume not. So now I need to amend this agenda. I move to strike Executive X and replace it with Roscoe. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Koprivka. I'll move that. Can I get a seconder?
I will second.
Thank you, Roscoe. Is there any objections to this formality? Seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent or abstain, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. Seeing none, that is carried as amended. We now have to pass. Oh, point of order.
Sorry, I reject.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely, Roscoe. I will keep chairing this meeting even after you are appointed. So now we just have to pass the entire motion. Any discussion on this amended motion? I'm assuming there's none. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, you know the drill. Seeing that consent, this motion is passed as amended. Congratulations, Roscoe, on becoming the new chair of SPOC. Excellent. Next up is 10.1, a discussion item. This was submitted by myself. I already had a brief chat with John earlier, but I figured I would say it for the recording. One of the things that I noticed in the 4th floor women's bathroom is that one of the stalls is missing a lock, and there's no slidey bar or whatever, as well as the sink for quite a while. It might be fixed now, I'm not sure. If you press down on the button, it didn't keep the water going even after you let go. So one of the things I just wanted to kind of relay to John was, how would the process go of reporting this to building coordinator so we can get that fixed? How long do these kinds of problems normally take to be fixed? And is there any way that we can expedite this process? If you could respond, that would be lovely.
Thanks, Ashley. Yeah, so in relation to the 2 particular items, so I am aware that there is a missing lock in one cubicle, and that is in progress with facility services at the moment. And then the sink should be resolved, but I'm going to do a check of all of the washrooms just for locks and sinks this evening now that this has been raised, and see. Talk about processes and timelines. So in terms of processes, any member of the building team can submit a work order to facilities or anyone else that it needs to go to. So really it's just getting the information to any member of the building team. So like if you do come across anything when you're passing through the building or walking through, just let the people at the desk know, and then we'll be able to take it from there. So that's really the process for submitting facilities requests. And then in terms of timelines, timelines is a little bit of a funny one. You could kind of say it's as long as a piece of string because it all depends on what's going on. So I can give you a couple of examples. So with respect to the door lock, we're actually waiting on parts for that. And then the parts can be 5 to 6 weeks before they come, which is unfortunate. It's just the way that the supply chain is at the moment. In terms of, like you might have noticed in different areas around the building, we have floor boxes, like electrical floor boxes in the ground. And we've had a couple of them break, and we've been trying to chase down new covers and parts for that. And only yesterday I got word that it could be like 6 to 8 weeks before those floor boxes actually make it here. And so the timeline on repairs is all dependent on the actual repair itself. Usually we try and have facilities come out and look at something within the week. If it's an urgent repair, they should come out within 24 hours to have a look at it. But in terms of getting the final repair done, it's kind of subjective depending on what the issue is itself. But we do strive to try and do it as quick as possible, and we try and avoid any delays on our end. But I'm happy to answer any questions people might have around that.
I'll just direct respond to that. Say thank you, John. That was very helpful. Definitely very informative for how to go about doing that and like procedurally how to, if we do notice anything that is wrong either with a bathroom or the rest of the sub. So thank you very much. That's very helpful and totally understandable that supply chains and all that stuff can be difficult sometimes. That's all the questions that I had on my end. If anybody else has anything they'd like to ask related to this kind of stuff, feel free to list. But if not, that's probably everything. Yeah, I'm going to assume that is everything. I'm fairly certain that's the last item on the agenda. It is. So next up is adjournment. I'm going to move to adjourn Spock at 1:18 p.m. Can I get a seconder?
I have a second. I will second.
VP Finance seconds. Any discussion? Assuming there's none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please raise the Zoom hand raise feature in Zoom, and I will ask you for your vote. Seeing none, the motion is carried. Thank you, everybody. See you in the new year.
Bye-bye, everybody.